Hi, I'm Brad Bennett. I'm here on staff at Open Door, and I'd like to read from the Gospel of John, chapter 5, verses 1 through 9. Afterward, Jesus returned to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish holy days. Inside the city, near the sheep gate, was the pool of Bethesda with 5 covered porches. Crowds of sick people, blind, lame, or paralyzed, lay on the porches. One of the men lying there had been sick for 38 years. When Jesus saw him and knew he had been ill for a long time, he asked him, "Would you like to get well?" "I can't, sir," the sick man said, "for I have no one to put me into the pool when the water bubbles up. Someone else always gets there ahead of me." Jesus told him, "Stand up, pick up your mat, and walk." Instantly the man was healed. He rolled up his sleeping mat and began walking. Well, I'd like to focus on this initial exchange between Jesus and the lame man. This man had been ill for a long time, 38 years, and for this entire time he relied on the conventional wisdom of his culture that said if he could get into the pool at just the right time, he would be healed. It was widely believed that the pool had healing powers. You can see this in the man's response to Jesus' question, "Would you like to get well?" The man's response was, "I can't, sir. I have no one to put me into the pool." It's almost like you can hear Jesus thinking, "I know you can't, but I can." Jesus responded by saying, "Stand up, pick up your mat, and walk." Jesus told him to do 3 things: stand up, pick up your mat, and walk. And I think it's interesting that all 3 of those things could only be obeyed after the man was healed. Jesus essentially told the man to stop believing what he had always believed and follow a new way, Jesus himself. Jesus didn't tell the man, "Just try harder. You'll make it into the pool someday on your own." He didn't say, "Oh, I'll help you get into the water so that you can be healed." Jesus was saying by his action of healing the man that I am the water that heals. Quit relying on cultural beliefs. Instead, believe in me, the true source of life and healing. So, what cultural norm have I been listening to instead of Jesus himself? Well, as I was thinking about this, I came to the conclusion that one of the lies that I have bought into in my lifetime is our culture's idea of success. If you work hard and plan well, you can live the American dream and be wildly successful. You know, big house, nice car, fat bank account. Well, in God's economy, that's the world's economy. God's economy is different. You know, in God's economy, the last shall be first. You have to die to self to truly live. Well, God's idea of success is not defined in terms of dollars, but rather in terms of faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Paul talked about Christ being the very essence of his life when he said, "For me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain." A successful life in God's economy is one that is lived in complete faith in him. So, that was my pool of Bethesda. What about you? What have you considered to be true because it's socially acceptable or culturally normal? Go back and compare that to the truth of Scripture and remember that Jesus is the true source of life and healing.